Picture this: a city sliced in two, not by a river or a mountain, but by a wall of concrete and barbed wire. For nearly 30 years, the Berlin Wall stood as a grim physical scar, a brutal symbol of a world divided. This wasn't just a wall. It was the Iron Curtain made real, separating families, friends, and an entire nation. On one side, the vibrant, free West. On the other, the repressive, Soviet-controlled East. For people in East Berlin, life was a constant struggle under the watchful eye of the Stasi, the secret police. The wall was designed for one purpose: to keep them in. Trying to cross it was a death sentence. Over 100 people lost their lives in desperate attempts to reach freedom. A tragic testament to the human spirit is desire to break free. Imagine living just a few hundred feet from your loved ones but being a world away, knowing that a simple concrete barrier was all that stood between you. But as the 1980s progressed, cracks began to appear, not just in the wall, but in the entire Soviet bloc. The winds of change were blowing across Eastern Europe. People were getting bolder, demanding reforms, and chanting for freedom in the streets of cities like Leipzig. The Soviet Union, under Mikhail Gorbachev's policies of glasnost and perestroika, was weakening its iron grip. The pressure was building, and something had to give. Then came the night of November 9, 1989. It happened almost by accident. An East German official, Günter Schabowski, was giving a rather dull press conference. Near the end, he was handed a note about new travel regulations. When a journalist asked when these new rules would take effect, Schabowski, looking a bit confused, glanced at his notes and stammered, "As far as I know, effective immediately, without delay." That was it. The spark had been lit. The news spread like wildfire. "The wall is open!" people shouted. Thousands of East Berliners, in a state of disbelief and ecstatic hope, flocked to the border crossings. They approached the guards, who were just as confused as everyone else. The guards had no official orders, but faced with the sheer force of the crowd, a joyous, peaceful, unstoppable wave of humanity, they had no choice. They opened the gates. What followed was one of the most emotional and euphoric scenes in modern history. People streamed through, weeping, laughing, and embracing strangers. West Berliners greeted them with flowers and champagne. For the first time in a generation, Berlin was one city. People climbed atop the wall, dancing and singing in defiance of the decades of division it represented. They took hammers and chisels to the concrete, chipping away at the hated symbol piece by piece. The fall of the Berlin Wall was more than just the demolition of a structure. It was the collapse of an ideology. It signaled the end of the Cold War, the reunification of Germany, and the liberation of millions across Eastern Europe. It was a powerful reminder that no wall can contain the human desire for freedom forever. It proved that ordinary people, united in their call for change, can tear down even the most formidable barriers. This incredible moment in history teaches us the power of hope, courage, and unity. It's a story we should never forget. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as moving as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. See you in the next one.